Ladies and gentlemen, man, it feels so good. It feels so good. I can't believe we get to do this. Who are we? We're the Sons of Saturday. I am in North Carolina, Charlotte to be specific. We got Patrick joining us from where are you? You're in North Carolina.
I am in Raleigh. I am at the crime scene, LOL. Was not at the game, but was in the great state of North Carolina for the game last night. And it is a lot better to be able to do this podcast after driving from Ocracoke Island. A lot of travel involved to get to and from Ocracoke from Manhattan. It is a lot easier to do this podcast today, Billy Ray. How are you doing?
I'm doing unbelievable. Unbelievable. We've said it to each other on the phone a couple of times. We're like, man, like, I can't believe we get to do a win pod. Here we are doing a win pod. First of all, man, where to start? I can't even remember how to do a podcast when we're this elated and excited. I want to start this podcast by extending our condolences to, if you did not know, DJ Elliott is the defensive coordinator for NC State. And before the game, we found out he would not be calling plays. His daughter passed away, Drew. She was battling cancer. So we do extend our thoughts and our prayers to the Elliott family and the NC State community. So wanted to start with that. To talk about the game, I got to be honest. I woke up on Saturday feeling pretty terrible. UVA won their biggest game since the Clinton administration. I mean, we have been hearing about 1997 forever, and we're going to talk about UVA in a little bit. There were 95 thoughts in my brain of like, do we really need to play this game? Like, do we really, like, is this something we need to do? Like Oregon and Penn State play, Alabama and Georgia play, LSU and Ole Miss play. It was like sensory overload with college football. And I was like, yes, and the Hokies are playing on the CW tonight.
You know it. You know it's bad when you crack open Instagram to watch the Jack and Coke score prediction, and it's from a non-Virginia Tech football game.
It's like, I was like, well, the Blackberry played well with the whiteout. And I was like, man, we've just been asking people to do score predictions for Virginia Tech. We had some people still give the score prediction for Virginia Tech. I think the first comment that came across was like NC State 56, Virginia Tech 10. Like, that was the first score prediction, just disregarding the call to action, but totally understandable. And I'm like, oh man, what channel is this game on? Oh my gosh, we're 10-point underdogs. We've been getting dragged by an NIL lawyer all week. Players have opted out. Like, it's just not going to be fun. And the game starts. And good God, the CW. Is that short for Clown Workshop? I mean, like, we're getting names wrong. We're calling Sam Sifkees, Scott Sifkees. We call every green the wrong name of green. And then you're like, what the hell is this, man? We have bad balls, bad reads, all of that's going on. And then you say, wait, we're winning at halftime? Like, are we going to win this game? And I receive a DM from our guy, Tyler Dixon. And his DM reads, the most Virginia Tech thing will be Monty winning his first ACC game as a one-score game. And then in my head, immediately, this is like during halftime, I'm like, I actually just hope we don't get Vanderbilted. And that's 100% how I see this working out. And then unbelievably, it happened. God shined his grace on thee. And Virginia Tech wins a one-score game on the road in Raleigh. And I went ahead and I looked at this. According to covers, the Hokies have won outright as double-digit underdogs on the road 4 times since 2014. Those games are 2014 Ohio State, 2019 Miami, 2022 Liberty, and last night at Raleigh. I mean, just some more history. It's the first one-score win since Liberty in 2022. It's the first one-score win versus a P5 opponent since J.C. Price against UVA. We won 29-24. It's the first P4 one-score win, not over our little brother UVA, at home against North Carolina in 2021. We won that game 17-10. That is 4 coaches ago, damn near. And it is the first P4 win, one score on the road, not over UVA, since 2020 when we beat Louisville in front of 0 fans. And one more for good measure. It's the first P4 one-score score win on the road, not over UVA, in front of fans pre-COVID when we went to Miami and Tisdale threw up everywhere and we won that game. So, like, oh my God. Ah, man, what a feeling. What a feeling.
So, Billy Ray, you got your ticket and you're climbing aboard the Phil Montgomery Express.
Dude, it's like unbelievable, man. 2 weeks in the job. I mean, gosh, and the content, dude. I haven't been so excited to be on the internet to absorb happy, elated Virginia Tech fans on Twitter and X and Instagram in so long. We got some videos from some fans. I may drop those in there, walking out of Carter Finley with a dub. I loved that.
There's nothing like walking out of Carter Finley with a dub. Woo! Go Hokies.
Walking out of Carter Finley with a dub.
Now, y'all know I'm not one for a video, but I had to do this for my boy Pat Finn. There's nothing like walking out of Carter Finley Stadium with a dub.
just awesome.
Thank you, guys. Everyone who went, I feel like there were a lot of Hokie fans in attendance, sold out Carter Finley Stadium. These guys are just rallying around Phil Montgomery, and we are seeing him just bring this roster and this program back to seemingly something that's serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is so fun and so exciting to be able to see a coach in the opposing locker room doing a dance, turning that hat backwards, getting a little silly. You know, Beamer did it. What do we call it? The fired up Fuente?
Fired up foo, dude. Fired up foo.
The hat backwards. I mean, he's not smoking a cigar at midfield. Only one man can do that. But wow, so much more fun to wake up on a Sunday. The coffee tastes better. The grass and the air just smells better. And Hokie fans have smiles on their faces. But I mean, this is really just, you just hate to play the comparison game, but really it's like the dichotomy of Pry versus Montgomery and the sideline, body language, and the poise. Monty just acts like he's been there before, and it acts like he has a finger on the pulse and a control of his coaches, his staff, his locker room, and everyone who's there. They're there because of him, and they want to be there for him and the rest of the leaders on this team. But this was like the dichotomy of this this night game in Carter Finley Stadium. 2022, we go out to Carter Finley. It's a Thursday night. It's the first year. Grant Wells is our quarterback. I remember like a big play down the field to Caleb Smith that game. MJ Morris was the quarterback on the other side, and we're up 21-3 or something at half. Something like, hey, we're not only going to win an ACC game, we're going to win an ACC game on the road. This is so much fun. And then whatever happened in that locker room, no adjustments. We completely choked it away. And now 3 years later, an interim head coach goes to Raleigh. So, you know, only a one-loss team, and wins a one-score game in front of a sold-out crowd as a double-digit dog. He's ready.
You know, one of the things you said, the dichotomy, I love seeing a coach flash on my screen in moments of high pressure. And I don't feel like there have times over the last 4 years where the coach would flash across the screen and I'd be like, wait, we might be dead here. It might be over. And then the coach is on the screen and you're like, oh no, we are totally dead. We are dead right now. And anytime you saw Monty, he just has this look on his face and you're like, I trust this guy. I trust this guy to put us in a position to win this game. And I know you have some notes here alluding to it, but like the vibes could not have been worse. Like this week, like even after beating Wofford, like you're just like, dude, I sent a text message and I said, we are really gearing up this year to have lost to head coach Shane Beamer, lost to Old Dominion at home, lose to I don't know who filled in at defensive coordinator yesterday, but potentially lose to fill in defensive coordinator Charlie Wiles and then also lose to UVA in 1 year. Like, are you ready? Are you ready for that? No, I'm not. And you go in there and you win this game. I mean, first of all, how awful do you feel if you are Mr. or Mrs. Tuffy or anybody associated with NC State? Like, you were fully anticipating to come in and just skull drag Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech fan base was fully anticipating receiving the skull drag going into this game, and you win. Unbelievable.
Tough for those guys. Just the portal opening up, guys jumping in, just a black cloud following Virginia Tech, seemingly after these past few weeks. Just the general vibes, the lawsuit, whatever that is or whatever that will be. And then you have this big BOV meeting coming up
tomorrow.
in 2 days. Yeah. On the 30th. Like, oh, let's turn the ship around.
Yeah.
On the SS Monty. And then UVA goes and takes down Florida State. Number 8 Florida State. And talk about being in the doldrums. Talk about being on the brink of being unwatchable. I think it's always a team that you're going to tune in for. Ed said this on the preview pod. It's something that, hey, I'm a fan. I'm a graduate. I wear their colors on Saturday. I tune in, whether it's watching on my phone or watching on the big screen or keeping up with the score, depending on what's going on and depending on how the team is doing. This could have been a game that was teetering on one side or the other of the fence of, hey, we could go ahead and lose by 3 or 4 touchdowns, or we could show up and stay in the fight. And this team went from being unwatchable to every single Virginia Tech fan who cares about this program is already locked in. 1-0. We got all of October to, potentially come out of October with a above 500 record in the ACC. November's going to be squirrely, but Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Cal, all 3 of these games in October are winnable games. You get the bye week in there.
You're like you are locked in and strapped in. I'll tell you what.
Wait, no. Tell me, Billy, right? Is the Wake Forest game not a winnable game? Is Georgia Tech not a winnable game? Is Cal not a winnable game? 2 out of the 3 are at home, and one of them is against a team that should have just lost to Wake Forest. So
it's resetting the expectations of now we have a coach and a team who want to be there and seem to be equipped to be there. And that's interesting. We'll get into that in Letters to the Lunch Pail. But in terms of like resetting my expectations, there's a mix of like, I want to enjoy that this just happened and then just live week to week. And it is crazy. Like, the team had every reason to go in and just mail it in and just be like, well, unfortunately, I don't have my red shirt, so I guess I'll play this out or whatever. And just to see the guys come out and compete the way that they did was awesome. And I was fully anticipating getting on this podcast and being like, you know what? We fought hard. We lost. No, they fought hard and won the game and won in a way that we haven't seen in damn near half a decade. Like, pour one out for these Wolfpackers, man. That is
toughy. That is toughy.
Oh.
Talk about that video from Kelvin Gilliam when we beat Wofford, and he's like, guys, if you want to leave Virginia Tech, if you want to leave, go ahead. The door's right there. Guys like Kelvin Gilliam, guys like Benji Gosnell. I'm sure Kyron Jones is more of a lead by example type, not as vocal. And then the young guys. I mean, the amount of guys that played on Saturday last night that you're like, who is that? What position is he? Who's number 42? Who's number 11? Caleb Spencer, for example. You're like, where has he been all year? But another thing that I just absolutely loved was John Love.
Do you love it?
And John Love, with a well-earned game-winning kick, down 21-20, he puts it through from 49 yards with 6:31 remaining. It was the difference in the game. John Love finally gets his first game-winning kick. as a Virginia Tech Hokie. Not even just a game winner, the go-ahead game winner. Or I should say the come-from-behind game winner. It's not like we were knotted up. This was absolute stones. This was absolute onions from John Love in a pivotal moment.
Hokie haikus, we received a ton of them. Do the honors. Kick us off. Give us the first two. I'll carry on with the second two, and then I'll put all the rest of them in the comments, dude, because we got a bunch.
These two were texted in. Andrew Mitchell. Hokies stand their ground. Ellis shines. Defense unbowed. One score joy at last. Jonah Paul Fike. Hokies win one score. Terrion Stewart balled out. Monty has us right.
From the Twitter sphere, Ben Griffiths. The CW announce crew. Making it up in real time. All hail Scott Siefkes. Pete McGee, who also sent in the walking out of whatever the hell they call their stadium, Carter Finley with a dub. A single score win. I cannot believe my eyes. Coaching truly counts. Pat, as you mentioned, you were watching Ocracoke Island in NC State for a Virginia Tech wedding. Whose wedding? Shout out. Sons of Holy Matrimony.
Alex Tapahan and Jack Rosemond. Alex, Hokie grad. Jack, NC State grad. So I flew into Raleigh on Thursday night. And the Heart Daddy and Beebs, we drove down on Friday night, took the ferry from Hatteras to Ocracoke, following the game, following the score on our phones. I would say mostly Hokies at the wedding. There was a good amount of Wolfpack representation as well. But once we saw that we were winning, everyone just, was so locked in and so fired up. Like, this team got off the bus.
It's funny because when we posted vibes were just so low. Like when Hokies FB was posting like the videos of like getting off the bus, I'm like, somebody take their phone away. Like, stop tweeting. Stop. I don't care what Takai Heath is listening to on his headphones, and shame on me. Like, they have to tweet, they have to put stuff out. But I was just so down bad. I was like, dude, just play the game. And they did. And they won. And I look like an idiot. I watched on the couch. The game started out on the iPad and eventually ended up on the big screen, which I never would have anticipated. Let's talk about the actual football game. Some themes and stats. The Hokies outgained NC State 412 yards to 302. Neither team had a turnover, but that means that we did not have a turnover, which was great. We only had 55 yards of penalties. And I'll tell you what, Hollywood Smothers. All I heard this week, Hollywood Smothers. Well, we smothered Hollywood Smothers, brother. We smothered and covered Hollywood Smothers all night long. He averaged 125 yards per game coming in. We held him to 67 and held NC State to 62 yards rushing total. Now, that is ultra impressive. It is Smothers' lowest output in the entire season so far. And you're not going to win a lot of football games if you rush for 62 yards. You're just not going to do it.
Smothers. But CJ Bailey did look good. Big guy, 26 to 34, 240 yards through the air, 2 scores. But it wasn't enough for our defense. It wasn't enough. I mean, they were in the backfield all day. We sacked them 5 times, 8 tackles for loss. Shut down the run game, Billy Ray.
Completely shut down the run game. And it was funny because this is a real text I sent. I said, there are 3 white guys on the defensive line right now. I mean, like, Ben Bell played well, but you see Ben Bell out there, he's got on like ankle socks, and you're like, dude, what? As Coach Young would say, what am I doing with my life? And they came out here and they balled out, man. Balled out. Shout out to Sam Siefkes, man. It's unbelievable. This is the same football team that got booed off the field after getting absolutely lambasted by Old Dominion. And this is the same football team. Like, it's preposterous that this is a reality that we are living in right now. I can't believe it.
It was really incredible to see Virginia Tech dominate the line of scrimmage on the road against an ACC opponent. I mean, we had gone into this game 3-9 in ACC roadies during Brent Pry's tenure. Mm-hmm. And we completely dominated the line of scrimmage because of a man named Terrian Stewart, who took advantage of the holes that were created.
Mm-hmm.
How fun is it to watch this guy just bumble his way forward? 15 carries, 174 yards, the 85-yard scamper, which is good for 7th highest run all time in Virginia Tech history. His highlight clip, it's a first down every other time he touches the ball. And this is not your father's first down. This is like, let me make 2 guys miss and then break a 3rd tackle, or like just squeeze in.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a torpedo submarine kind of guy. And you're like, how is he still on his feet? How is he so quick and nimble? He's like so small, but so big at the same time. It is truly impressive to watch this guy move.
It's 2 things. It is your father's first downs when you think about like your father playing in the backyard brawl when you're like 6 in on Thanksgiving, when like you go in the backyard and pretend to play tackle football against your dad. It's kind of what it looks like.
Jerome Bennett.
And also Robert Irby had the text of the night. He goes, Terrian Stewart looks like Darren Sproles if he ate another Darren Sproles, which is pretty accurate. Just a fun game. We'll talk about some of the moments of the game here. And I was thinking, when are we going to talk about our guy, Dave Phillips? Well, moments of the game. How about moments that you love and moments that you embrace? The moments that we love and we embrace occur in that New River Valley. They occur in Blacksburg, Virginia, Christiansburg, Virginia, all the way down in those beautiful, beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. If you're looking to get down in them Blue Ridge Mountains, if you're looking to check out some real estate and expand the amount of moments that you have, or decrease the amount of money you're spending on a weekly basis to stay in an Airbnb, our guy Dave Phillips has you covered. He's a friend of the podcast. He's a Virginia Tech grad. He is awesome. If you're interested in looking, selling, buying, or just tugging his ear if you have some driving time, shoot us a DM and we will put you in touch with our guy, Dave Phillips. Here are the 2 moments of this football game that I want to point out. This is the ruh-roh raggy moment of the game. NC State comes out of the locker room and goes 75 yards in 12 plays for a touchdown to take the lead 14-13. Oh boy, here we go again. Of course, the Vanderbilt curse is coming back. What a fun first half. I can get this off the screen and I can kind of be like, all right, we lost. I'll watch the condensed game tomorrow. Of course, Virginia Tech gets the ball back. And of course, we stall in NC State territory and we have to punt. Defense goes back on the field and says, don't worry, fam. I got you. They force a 3-and-out. We get the ball back. We take over on our own 11. Couldn't ask for anything better. Is there a safety inbound? Are we going to snap it over the quarterback's head and they're going to score a touchdown? No. Terrian Stewart is going to bust it open, as you mentioned, for the 7th longest run in Virginia Tech history for 85 yards, and we score on the very next play. Any other time the last 3.5 years, this team quits. They let go of the rope. You had the lead. You gave it away. The body language sucks. Yada, yada, yada. Not this time. They go out and they continue to pound and continue to chop, not to take a line out of Rutgers' playbook. And the second moment of the game where I will give myself some patties on the backies. There is 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this football game. It is 4th, and as Pete would say, it is 4th and pube. You need literally like no yards to get this first down, and you can end the game. But hey, guys, we're on our own 40-yard line. I received dozens of text messages. Wait, we're punting? Surrender punt? Is this really what we're doing? And I and Ed, I tweeted this out. I said, receipt. And I'm like 4 bourbons deep at this point, so it was tough to get this tweet out. But I'm like, receipt. I don't have a problem punting right now. Had no issue punting. I don't want to give him the ball on our 40. Our defense has been playing fantastic. Punt the ball away, play defense, win the game. Ed Williams was also on my side with this. And we trusted our defense to play the way they played all afternoon, and they go ahead and they handle it. They handle it. You get NC State into 4th and 1, and they're forced to go for it. And then the pass is knocked away, and you win the game. You win the game. You get to kneel the ball out and you get to win it. I think those are the 2 plays, man. It's number 1, not letting go of the rope when you let go of the lead coming out of halftime. The offense and the defense had to answer the bell, and they did it. And then the second one is a head coach whose hand is steady, who doesn't freak out, punted the ball, trusted his defense, and the defense comes through and wins the freaking ball game, man. Awesome stuff. I loved it.
He said in the presser too, he said, I was so close to going for it there. And Kyron said to him in the presser, I think it was in the presser, like, Coach, like, we're going to have to talk about that. Like, I was going to get it. I was going to win us this football game. Coach said if we were a couple yards further into NC State territory that he would have gone for it. I think you have to think about it this way too. We're on the 40 and we're only up 2 points. If we're up a touchdown or up 6 and they need to get it into the end zone, I think you're more likely to go for it there. But all they need is a field goal to win the football game, not even just tie it up. And, that's one first down away that I think it was the right decision too. In the moment, I don't know. It's also like one of those things that it's always going to be a Monday morning quarterback thing, no matter what happens. But it worked out for us this time, and it never really worked out in the previous 3 years. So I'm happy that Monty had the gusto and the instincts to make the decision that he felt was right for the team.
Let's talk about the offense. Again, 412 yards. We scored in every quarter. We didn't have like our absolute disaster zone quarter, which, got to tell you, pretty refreshing to not just forget how to play football for a quarter. Virginia Tech did not do that. Score by quarter, a field goal in the first quarter, 10 points in the second, a touchdown in the third, and then a field goal to win the game in the fourth quarter. Just great. Just complimentary ball. It was great.
It was complimentary ball. You had John Love executing when he needed to. You had the defense in the backfield all day, and you had a quarterback and a running game that did enough to win the football game. Really, like, Kyron Drones didn't have the best game of his life last night, but he made plays when it mattered. He threw for 2 touchdowns in the red zone, took care of the football. He had that nice play when he ran all the way out to his right and slinged it down to the far sideline or the near sideline to Aiden Green. Made a fantastic catch to keep him in bounds. And then this play late in the game where Kyron is rolling right, getting backed all the way up. He's 18 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He throws off of his back foot and hits Benji on this just like super athletic falling back catch that Benji has made before in Lane Stadium. I think it was like, it might have been like the West Virginia game years ago when like Grant Wells hit him or something. He made some super athletic catch.
Was it against Georgia Tech, like right on the goal line by our side in Section 5?
He made a sick catch right over on our side. Maybe it was the Pitt game. It's something in the last few years, but I mean, the dude can climb the ladder and make really good catches, and he did it again last night. And then even like the Jerikas Hairston catch, roll out to your right, hit him 5 yards, first down. That was on the last offensive drive. I know we ended up punting on that drive, but even just that first down, like the Vanderbilt game, we would have totally rolled over and not made anything happen. So I think he did enough for us to win the football game. Again, like, just took care of the football and made better decisions this week. Wasn't helped out by some of the wide receivers. There's some issues there.
Yeah, I want to talk about Kyron Drones real quick. Look, there were a couple plays where he stumbled and he slipped. There were a couple of balls that he'd like to have back. There were a couple of plays where the ball was kind of thrown into the middle of nowhere. And, I don't know if that's a miscommunication with the wide receiver, if what it is, but I'm sure I'd like to have it back. And then also the Peterkin down the sideline play. He caught it, but he came down out of bounds. Unbelievable catch. And I hope Peterkin is on this team. That kid is an absolute stud. He had a decent throw to the end zone, which absolutely should have been caught by, I believe it was Donovan Green. He got his hands on it. He had to put it over the linebackers, but get it down to Donovan Green, and he made that throw, and it was just, I'll label it as a drop. And then he had that unreal throw to Gosnell, that unreal throw to Aiden Green. So I want to give props to Kyron Drones, man. Like, we've kind of been saying, like, hey, how do we not see another quarterback? And, I'm sure he's reading all that stuff. And for him to go out and play within himself and play well enough to beat NC State, like, let's go. This is kind of what you're hoping to see out of out of Kyron Drones. And I think it's going to help him now that he has a running mate in Terrion Stewart. Like the fact that you have a running back who can run the ball and it looks like will give the ball. Only 15 carries. I was hoping to see him closer to 20, but I mean, an unbelievable effort from him. My only negative is the wide receiver group in general was pretty bad. Like way too many drops. There were a few nice plays down the stretch, but we've said this about Kyron before. Like he has his limitations, but when he puts the ball on you, catch the freaking ball. Like there were a couple of, if it was a spear, you'd be dead situations. So we gotta catch the football.
Marcellus Hawkins, you have to tip your cap to him. 4 runs, 47 yards, picked up a few first downs, made a lot of guys miss in the open field. He's a little slimy, a little scampery. Also had a touchdown catch as well, 11-yard touchdown early in the game. That was the catch right after the the one right after the big run from Stewart. It was after the Stewart like got helicoptered and still was able to stay on his feet. I think his elbow was down, but he's got David Wilson level of athleticism, just a different body type. But Stewart, man, I'm so excited to watch him the rest of the year. Such a bummer we didn't have him at full health earlier in the year, but he will make us competitive as long as we're getting him 15, 20 a game.
And shout out to the offensive line. You big, beautiful man. You guys have been absolutely ripped, rightfully so, this entire year. And they came out and they played, man. 235 yards rushing, only 2 sacks, and a couple of them were like trip over yourself sacks, and 4 total tackles for loss from NC State. Like the offensive line was definitely a positive I felt in this game. I also think Coach Montgomery did a good job moving the pocket, getting Kyron out of the pocket. He's at his best when he's rolling and getting himself in some space and giving receivers time to get down the field. So I think they deserve a shout out. And then lastly, I know we've talked about him a lot. Terrion Stewart, 174 yards, 15 carries, 11 yards per clip. This is from Chris Coleman. Terrion Stewart had 11 forced missed tackles last night. He has 16 on the year on 26 carries. So that is a crazy stat. I also have not got, like, it was one of those moments when you're on the couch and like Jay got super mad at me because he ran over someone. I was like, "Ooh!" And I scared the dog and scared everybody. But I mean, he absolutely buried some defensive back from NC State. It just all around fun, man. Really. And if you're new here, please like and subscribe. But we haven't had this feeling in a long time. It's been pretty much a bummer.
If you've made it this far in the podcast, please comment the bowling pins emoji below in honor of our guy, Terrion.
And speaking of the comments, I do want to shout out CJ Carroll and Trent Young for both sending me texts of the emojis. And also Trent Young won the Lunch Pail Defense Foundation golf event that took place in Richmond a couple days ago. So shout out to him. Sons of Strokes. Keep stroking them. Good job, Trent. Talking about the defense, only 302 total yards to NC State, held them to 62 on the ground, 5 sacks. I believe the statistic was that NC State had only given up 3 sacks over the year, or like no more than 3 sacks in a game or something. They haven't been giving up sacks, and we got sacks. So there was this one sack where Ben Bell, like, in his ankle socks and all of his glory, like, is being blocked by 2 people, and he grabs 6'7" CJ Bailey and just drags him to the ground. I mean, like, they played with their hair on fire. Like, they played with a defense that our whole team played like they cared, which was so awesome. And it's amazing what you do when you care and you practice hard and you practice on time and you look like you know what you're doing. I feel like Pete B put a video out. I feel like less of an idiot for saying that this team was talented enough to win more than 6 games. I think the talent is on the team to do that. And the team that just took the field isn't the team that we had at the beginning of the year. Dante Lovett's not here. Tucker Holloway's not here. There are plenty of players that aren't here, and I'm not getting into why they're not here or whatever. But this isn't even us at full strength, and you're going out there, and this is what it looks like? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Thank you for playing Caleb Spencer, by the way. Career high, 11 tackles. He had that huge stop on 4th down. It's good to know that Caleb Spencer is alive and playing football for the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Yeah, he had that game against Miami, and then we never saw him again. We're like, hey, where'd that guy go? Where is he at? Is he hanging out in the cheetah den? Where's our boy?
Where's our guy? Noah Chambers. Who the heck is Noah Chambers? You go on the ESPN profile for Noah Chambers. Noah profile picture for Noah. He doesn't even have a picture on there.
True freshman from DeMatha Catholic, dude. True frosh.
7 tackles, 5 solo, 1 TFL, 1 sack. True freshman. Another freshman. Sheldon Robinson from Woodbury Forest. Safety. 6 tackles, 1 TFL. And we got to talk about Christian Ellis. Christian Ellis was lighting up the stat sheet. 3 pass breakups. Saved the game at the end of the game with the pass breakup. And that was a scene. He does the shh.
Oh, the picture's unreal, dude. What an unbelievable photo. I think that's Keegan Creative, or Creatives by Keegan got the shot. What a pick. Unbelievable picture. All the pictures were great, dude. The Hokies FB picture with Coach Montgomery jumping. I mean, print the shirts, dude. I mean, that was just spectacular.
Dude, print the shirts. You know what we're going to put on it? It's just going to say, start jumping.
I got to tell you, I don't mean to get a little weird here, man, but Coach Monty, he just looks like a ball coach, man. He's got that little scruff going on. He looks kind of crazy. I'll also come back, man. I know after the Cephas ODU and Vanderbilt game, we're like, wait, this guy just is crazy and can't coach defense. Well, he coached a damn good defense last night. So shout out to Sam Cephas. Shout out to Coach Montgomery. I'm beginning to fall in love with this team again, because I got to tell you, I hated you a week ago. I hated you guys 2 weeks ago. And it's not personal. I'm just saying I had a very poor relationship with the current status of our football program.
And Billy Ray, you could make the argument this is love at first sight. This is the first time you're getting to look at a lot of these guys. So, we'll see what happens when they come walk by a second time next weekend. Isaiah Cash, 8 tackles. Ben Bell, who I had given a hard time a few weeks ago, 5 tackles and 1.5 TFLs as well. Just really inspiring effort from a bunch of guys who said, hey, stick-to-itiveness and loyalty are important to me and important to Virginia Tech. And let's ride this thing out and see what we got going on. And let's buy into what Monty's selling. And Monty is it's selling.
What this also benefits the next coach, the next staff, getting all these young guys on the field, keeping them engaged, making them get better. Like they'll make mistakes. They'll have MAs but that's just kind of the nature of playing a young team. So it really benefits that next staff. If you want to turn the page, man, I know I'm so glad that he got this moment for the game-winning kick, because John Love, like I tweeted last night, I tweeted John live, free rails for life. If you see this guy at Tots, hopefully not on Friday nights or Thursdays, or even if he is into enjoying a casual adult beverage every once in a while, make sure that's getting paid for. Okay, John Love does not need to be buying drinks in Blacksburg, and that is lifelong, my friend. John Love, if I see you in line, I got you, fam. Whatever you want. You want an apple juice, you want a rail, whatever it is, brother. I got you, and I would love to do it. This came from Diablo fan account. According to Sports Reference, John Love is the most accurate active kicker in the country and 5th most accurate all time. He has a screenshot of this. It says leaders since 1956. Number 1, Brett Baer from Louisiana. Number 2, Nick Skiba from Wake Forest. Alex Henry from Nebraska. Jeff Boudzian from Northwestern. And then our guy, John Love. He's been at Virginia Tech from 2022 to 2025, and he is 88.9% on field goals. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This guy makes field goals like Europeans make free throws. I mean, it's really just incredible. If I have to say one thing, cover your kids' ears. Can we just not have the special teams bullshit like for 1 week? Just 1 week. Like, can we not do something just preposterously stupid on special teams? We get a delay of game on the field goal unit to move our guy John Love from 44 yards to 49 yards on his final field goal. This is to win the game. And of course, it's not 0-0. It's not a legal procedure. It is illegal snapping the ball on time, and we have to move back 5 yards. He still made it, but I would just like 1 week. Let's not do something stupid on specials. I hate when special teams are anything short of special, and they've been quite short of special for a while.
Dr. Love asked for that. He was like, fellas, why don't we make this a little more challenging? Add to the legend a little bit more. Let me just knock this one down for 49. Stud. Where do we go from here, Billy Ray?
It's a great question.
According to my trusty sources at teamrankings.com, who I have the weekly subscribe on, after beating NC State yesterday, Virginia Tech is now projected to finish the season 4-8, 3-5 in conference. That's an upgrade from last time. I believe it was 3-9 last time we got on here. We currently rank the Hokies as the number 14 team in the ACC and the number 71 team in the country. Next game, Saturday versus Wake Forest, who is the number 82 team. Power ratings give the Hokies a chance to win, a 68% chance to win. Projection for the remaining games for Tech, 2-5. And if we're running down the line of percentages for Wake Forest, 68%, Georgia Tech, 17%, Cal, 55%. That stayed level. It was 55 last week. Louisville, 23%. Florida State, our opportunity doubled from 3% to 6% to beat them. Miami, 7%. And then Virginia is down to 18%. I believe it was 20%.
Good thing we don't play football games on keyboards or calculators.
Get in the arena and duke it out. Throw out the records, fellas.
Whew. It makes me so mad. I haven't said this yet, but this was the feeling. It makes me so mad to see how we play this week and how we played previously. Like, where would we be right now if we just played like that for the last couple of weeks? But you can't do anything about the past. You can only look towards the future. And I'll tell you what, the future looking kind of rosy. I mean, Virginia Tech is one of 6 teams undefeated in ACC play, having played a game or more. They're with Georgia Tech, UVA, Duke, Louisville, and Cal. They all haven't lost a game. Neither have we. Hey, it's nice to see you atop the ACC standings, talking to all of our peers tied for first place. We got to the end of the game, and I think I like vocalized that, or I said it on the phone. And Jay goes, "Wait, we're in first place." I said, "You can bet your boots on that, partner. We are in first place in the ACC." And if you want to get a little crazy, every one of these teams' goals are right in front of them. We're not going to get that out-of-conference Power 5 win, Power 4 win, unless we get a bowl, which would be tremendous if we went to a bowl game.
How are we in first place if Virginia has 2 wins and Georgia
if you're
Tech
going
has
up,
2
if you're
wins?
it depends on how you're going it by. Like if you're going by winning by percentage of games won, you're essentially tied. And it's like baseball, you're a half game back or whatever because you haven't played as many games. Given the opportunities we've been given, which is one, we went ahead and we handled business, and we don't have a conference loss yet. So if we just keep that as a 0, we will see you in Charlotte. Buy your tickets now.
However, if there's one thing that never happened over the past 3 years, it was consistency in winning and stringing together conference wins. Other than that stretch in 2023 where we got a little hot at home.
Yep.
That BC, what was it? BC? No, Syracuse, Pittsburgh, Wake. Like that was a nice little streak that started up in October. Can't fall asleep here.
No.
Like Virginia Tech, NC State is kind of just one of those programs that loses one of these games at home.
Yeah.
And it's like a head scratcher. And you're like, wait a second. We were 10-point favorites. and a team that has not been playing very well just came in and beat us. Like, they're looking in the mirror. They're like, is this an us problem, or did Virginia Tech just go up and whip us up and down the field? They got some problems there in Raleigh. And there might be some uncomfortable conversations with regards to Dave Doran. I know we kind of have this conversation, seems every other year with Dave Doran. He's been there over a dozen years in Raleigh. But just a crazy week in the ACC.
Crazy week in the ACC. And before we flip to the rest of the ACC, I do want to say this team is not perfect. We got a long way to go. Receivers, you got to be better.
Perfect. Yeah, we won one game, dude. Hang the banner.
We did win 2
Virginia
in a
Tech
row.
wins a football game.
1-2 in a row. The receiving room has to get better. Defense needs some takeaways. Cheetah group, the cheetah thing, get some picks, some interceptions. You're tied with the defensive line right now in interceptions. We only have 4 takeaways on the year, and that number needs to be higher. I have a hard time, though, taking a super staunch stance here. But yeah, an insane week in the ACC. I mean, Fran Brown got absolutely lambasted by Syracuse, by Duke at home. They lost like 33-3, 38-3. It was pretty tough. Wake Forest should have beaten Georgia Tech. They got a phantom offsides call. Georgia Tech, man, that was quite a concerning situation for you guys. What else did we see? I mean, UVA obviously beat Florida State. Miami stays undefeated. I think they were idle. Cal beat Boston College. San Jose State lost to Stanford. Stanford picked up a 1-point win. And Louisville tried really hard to lose to Pitt. Like, Louisville tried really hard to lose to Pittsburgh, but they did not. They walked out of Acrisure Stadium with a dub.
You know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Please.
Louisville hosting UVA next weekend.
Oh, dude, I know it. Louisville hosting UVA next weekend is going to be a ton of fun. That's going to be some high-level quarterback play. Also, speaking for NC State, if you are a Wolfpacker here, you guys do get to play Campbell next week. I think they'll have that on on radio only or something. But then you do have to play at Notre Dame, at Pitt, Georgia Tech, at Miami, Florida State, and then finish it out with North Carolina. So it's kind of a tough stretch. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. And trying to they won't be going undefeated in conference play. Let's talk a little bit about Virginia. First of all, I do want to point this out. Virginia played and lost to NC State. That was not a conference game. Because, of course, it wasn't. Because we do that weird stuff all the time where, like, we play games against conference foes that don't count as conference games. But by the transitive property, okay, if you just want to talk about the transit, whatever, you want to talk about the property of transferring, like, this is how it works. So John Cran pointed this out.
Can you just get through this? I hate the transit property more than anything in organized sports. Okay, can you just get through this, please?
Sure. I mean,
ODU beat all about the transitive property. We all know what it is.
ODU beat Virginia Tech. Then Virginia Tech beat NC State. NC State beat Virginia. Virginia beat Florida State. Florida State beat Alabama. And Alabama beat Georgia. So therefore, number one, ODU might win the national title. But also, and most importantly, Virginia Tech has also beaten Virginia, Florida State, and Alabama, and Georgia. So if you want to go by that standard, pretty unbelievable. But we do need to talk about this UVA thing. We do.
The transitive property is like the most elementary sports fan thing of all time. And I know John Cran's just being silly. I know he doesn't think like that.
Well, this was the only way to transition into talking about this UVA thing. And just to set the table, I know here's the deal. I don't feel bad about anything that I've said regarding UVA this past week. Coming into the week, we both said, hey guys, your team's pretty good. And your team is pretty good. They beat Florida State. And I know you have, this is the Pat's lawn of the week. I'm going to throw myself on mute and I'm just going to let Pat enlighten everybody here.
There are so many UVA fans chirping. Obviously, we're going to continue and double down on the if football is important to you, sell out your game narrative here. Not a single sentence, not a single phrase was mentioned that your team sucks. We can beat your team this year. I mean, I would think on paper, on neutral field, Virginia, probably a 10-point favorite over Virginia Tech, maybe more. No one is dismissing that. No one has ever said that from our side. There's even some Hokie fans that are a little annoyed that we won't let this go, and I get a little bit confused about that as well. This is a rivalry. If you don't want to participate in a rivalry, I don't think you should watch college football, because going at your rival, spare me the free rent thing, okay? Going at your rival is part of waking up in the morning and being a college football fan. We never said Virginia had a bad football team. Billy actually said, like, verbatim, I think you guys got a pretty nice team this year, which we learned on Friday they do. And it was proven. But the challenge all week last week was about your football fans. We said one thing. We asked for just one thing. Sell out the stadium. Sell out the football game. You got a top 10 opponent in conference, at home, at night, on Friday. And that was the challenge. The challenge was not accepted and not fulfilled. You sold just over 50,000 tickets to your football game in a 61,500 seat stadium. That is good for 81%. 81% is a B minus. So if you want to like celebrate this football win, I think you should celebrate this football win. But that wasn't what we were talking about. We were just like, dude, sell out the football game. But celebrating a B minus, it's like running a marathon and then telling everyone you just stopped at mile 21. And no one's giving you a medal for not finishing. And I bet like most of the UVA fans who are like crushing us on Instagram comments were probably watching the football game from their couches, which proves the irony of the entire conversation to begin with. The team won the football game. The quarterback looked awesome. The defense played great. Players did their job. The fans who were there did their job. We'll give you guys your flowers all day long until your fans can show up and sell out Scott Stadium. We will keep chirping, because that is what rivals do. 24/7, 365. That is what rivals do. I mean, it could be May, it could be July, it could be January. We're going to make fun of UVA. That's what we do. You guys now finally, for the first time in however long, have a number next to your team's name in the AP poll. I challenge you to put your money where your mouth is and buy a ticket to a football game in your home stadium and sell out the game. I bet you can't do it.
And you know what's so crazy is we actually had a bunch of Virginia Tech fans who lived in the area, and they're like, I'll go to this game. Tickets are $20. I love college football. Like I'll go to the game. Our guy Grant Perrell in the second quarter was like, this ticket's like $18. I'll go and be a casual fan of American college football. And he went to the game. Nick Ransing went to the game. O'Neal Hagan calls me the night before the game. He's like, I might go. I might go and do a Beamer impression the whole time. Like, really, the beatings will continue until morale improves. I think your team is good. Really good. I suggest going to watch it, because coming out of the woodwork, when you guys win a game, to come at us, we fully embrace and accept the fact that our team, to this point, had not been very good. We understand that. The fact of the matter is, we have kicked your ass up and down the field for the last 20 years, and you finally have a good team. If Virginia Tech was 0 4-11 and we were playing Florida State or Miami or LSU or any top 10 team, I promise you tickets are not going to be $18 because we show up to the game to go. And we're almost like on this mission from a church to encourage you and teach you how to embrace and love and care for your team. And for some reason, you don't want to do it. We will continue to make fun of you. We will continue to do it. And to the Trey Kellers of the world and even the Brandon Lloyds of the world, shout out to you. We're actually trying to help you. We are.
Bryce Perkins was a quarterback 5 years ago, and I do think they still had trouble selling out.
Yeah, it's tough. It's unrelatable. It's unrelatable. And it's so fun because we won our game. Like, we handled business. We actually did something that you guys haven't done, which is beat NC State. And we are also atop of the AC standings with you all. So we're just trying to help you out. We're just looking out for our friends. I don't want to end this podcast by a message to Virginia. I do want to end this podcast with a message to NC State. And I'm going to quote Caroline Miller here. You lose, I win. It feels so good to say that. You lose, we win. Thank you for the hospitality. Thank you for having us come out there. Thank you for selling out your game. You guys showed up to support your team, but we won. You lost. It feels so good to say that. We won a one-score game. Do have a lot of respect for NC State. Feels good to win a game like that. Feels so good. Any other thoughts on this weekend of college football? Oregon.
I'm hoping Squirrel White got trampled. Some of those Florida State players were in harm's way. I know you had a take about the double birds. I know Tim.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Too.
I mean, here's the thing. It's not a reflection on UVA because I'm sure every fan base does that. So please don't. I saw a couple people were like, this is why people hate UVA. It's like, no, this is why people hate millennials. This is why people hate losers. Because running on the field to flip off some quarterback, I completely agree with David Portnoy. You both should fight. It should be on site. It should be absolutely on site. Shout out to Tom Castellanos for absolutely knocking out that intern at Deloitte or wherever he's working. Just looks like an absolute clown doing that. I would say the same thing if a Virginia Tech fan did it. I would say the same thing if somebody at the local high school did it. It is such a tremendously goofy look. I cannot stand stuff like that. It's just crazy. I will say, and I don't mean to sound like a boomer, like whack, like, kind of like a no fun guy. That was extremely dangerous. Like the fact that you're both in the back of the end zone and then 10,000 people pour out of the hill to run onto the field. That is a terrifying situation, legitimately terrifying. So I hope he's okay. And I don't really know what you do to fix that. I don't know how you mitigate that situation. And I do want to give a tip of the cap. The UVA students did their job. The hill looked great. Overall, like that football game was a great game to watch. The environment looked good, but we are going to cheer for you for not selling out the game. I mean, that's just, that's how it's going to go.
Here's just a theory.
Sure.
How many of those UVA students saw that it was like a close game with 15 minutes left and like scurried out of their dorms and frat tailgates and like decided to go because they wanted to run on the field?
I would imagine quite a few. I do want to salute
Good for
Jake
them.
Malice.
Good
I
for
do
them.
want to say this though too. I do like Jake Malasek. My guy gets a lot of hate. He stands in the paint, dude. He loves his team. He rides with his team. Everybody's like, I hate this guy more than anybody on the internet. One, I'm not telling you not to hate him. I love that that's the rivalry, but I mean, at least he's one of us when it comes to loving your team. You should do more of that if you're from UVA. Look at this. They've already taken up 10 minutes of this conversation. To get back to the main point, Virginia Tech won the game on Saturday. I cannot believe they won the game on Saturday, and they did it in one score fashion. Letters from the lunch pail. Our guy Keith. This is the question everybody's asking, man. What's the opinion of Monty getting a shot with a permanent head coach whistle? What a difference a head coach has made. It may be an underwhelming hire, but look, what he's done with all the turmoil he's had to deal with. I don't want to weigh in on this too heavily because I'm really trying to live in the moment and what he's done in 10, 12, 14 days, 15 days, I think it's 2 weeks as of today. Number one, this is a great opportunity for Coach Montgomery and the rest of the staff to make themselves look attractive to any job, anywhere. Number two, let's see how the rest of the season plays out, because I don't want to outwardly say no, because like, if we're being crazy for a second, like we could win every game on our schedule. We could also lose the rest of the games on our schedule. So for right now, I am tempering my reaction to, I'm really encouraged by what I've seen so far. I'm very appreciative of what I've seen so far. And that's kind of where I'll leave it. Do you differ on that?
I think this is something that changes every week. You know, if he goes 500 in ACC play, how does he get to 500? Like, how does he coach up our team?
Mm-hmm.
How does he coach? How does he manage the clock? How does he manage the roster? Are we a balanced rushing and passing attack? Like, if Terrion Stewart is balling out and then we decide to go away from the run, you know, and that's the reason we lose the football game, you can't just evaluate it in a vacuum. You have to kind of take, evaluate the whole from the sum of all the parts there. But like, I'm looking at this, if you go 500 in ACC play, you win 2 games in November, including Virginia, you probably have a seat at the table to get invited to interview, right? Like, I
completely agree.
This entire season is a job interview for him, if you think about it. And I think there's definitely some folks who are like, well, what if he just, you know, wins out? Like, we'll take him, right? And well, if he wins out, that'd be awesome. I think he'll definitely be, you know, in the pole position, but we're not just going to promote him right away without kind of evaluating, okay, where are we as a program? What's the future of this athletic department look like? What do we want the vision for Virginia Tech to be? And Monty doesn't make the decision if he is the head coach. So I think just support him and support this team week over week. And, you know, we're riding the high right now. We got to keep going higher. Can't get too high, but have a lot to learn about this team. Got Wake Forest for homecoming next week. Got a big one on the road in Atlanta. And then you got Cal at home on a Friday night. I mean, should have an opportunity to have a 2-1 at the bottom, 2-1 October.
Yeah.
Considering these 2 games are at home. I mean, that Georgia Tech game is going to be a freaking battle.
Also, it depends on who's healthy and who's not. Pete McGee, I have the same kind of answer for you. Do you guys think we can project anything about the season after this game, or are you considering this game in a vacuum? For right now, I'm considering the game in a vacuum. I said I said once the coaching change was made, we had an opportunity to jump up and bite some teams, and it happened. It happened the first time we had an opportunity to do it. Again, not to harp on the past, but man, I've been begging Virginia Tech to beat one team we're not supposed to. Beat one team that has either equal or better talent than we do, or is perceived as a better team than we are. And by God, we did it. Unbelievable. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And then our guy Bish, to round it out, not really a question. There's not a single question mark in here. It was nice not to be frustrated with seemingly every play last night. They had a plan, executed, and made adjustments. Obviously not perfect, but light years ahead of the previous 3 years. And it took 2 weeks. Guys were thirsty for some structure and leadership. I'll tell you what, thirsty doesn't even begin to describe the feeling. Famished, running on E, below E. We were pushing the car to the gas station is what it felt like. So it's a good feeling, man. It's so fun to be on here on a win podcast. There are a lot of times we get on here and we open up the StreamYard and we kind of just both look at each other and we're just like, oh, do you see this Jets score? Yeah. I guess we'll hit record here. Speaking of which, apparently I've gotten a bunch of texts about the Ryder Cup. I don't know what's going on there, but apparently we're making a run at the Ryder Cup right now. So shout out to America. Speaking of America, just to round it out, any last thoughts on this weekend of college football?
James Franklin.
Dude.
It's getting awfully hot under that seat.
Dude. I got to tell you, I'm impressed with how they played. A lot of people are doing like the here we go again with him. And ultimately, he lost the game. But those were two really, really high-level teams. It's just you don't give yourself a lot of wiggle room when you've lost every other time that you had an opportunity there. So I don't really know where you go from here. I'll just give you my basic thoughts on some of the other games. First of all, go watch the Lane Kiffin documentary that came out on E60. Pat, that is your flight back assignment. It is phenomenal. It is excellent. LSU loses to Ole Miss. I wonder what Brian Kelly said about his offense, because his offense was putrid in that football game. Alabama, Georgia was a great game. Auburn lost to A&M. Auburn has given up like 9 sacks their last 2 games in a row in both of these games. Jackson Arnold is actually running for the hills. He's in a tough spot. Jeff Levy, I'm telling you, man, that guy can coach him up. He almost took care of business against number 15, Tennessee at home. I still like him as a potential candidate. Pour one out, dude. Sam Pittman, it is over in Arkansas. They got absolutely lambasted by Notre Dame.
Lambasted.
Like, just so bad. They gave up 643 yards of offense to this Notre Dame team. 56-13. Just an FYI, if Notre Dame wins out, they'll be in the playoff, in my opinion. If they win out, they'll be in the playoff. The ACC is really, really bad. Really, really bad. So I think they're going to have an opportunity to jump in there and get themselves into the dance. What should we call it? We call the tournament the big dance. Should we call this like the big waltz? We gotta name this something. We gotta come up with something.
Called the big event. Shout out Virginia Tech. Good president. Former quarterback Rhett Lashley could be a big candidate for that Arkansas job.
He could be a big candidate. Also, Bobby Petrino is taking over as interim, I believe. If he can stay off of a motorcycle and with his wife, or not with co-eds under the sheets, I think he'll be in a good spot too. So I don't know what Arkansas is going to do. I did see I saw a tough video of Lou Holtz this weekend. Lou Holtz was in like a Arkansas sweater, and he was like, well, when you're in this opportunity, you got to pick the team that didn't fire you. And Arkansas didn't fire me. They built me a statue right outside. So I'll be rooting for the Razorback this weekend.
You sound like a combo of Lou Holtz with if Bobby Boucher had the Lou Holtz lisp.
That does it for the Sons of Saturday. Second win pod, but first ACC win pod. First single score win pod since Liberty. Truly amazing times over here.
Give me that LeBron meme.
I can't believe this is my life. Guys,
homecoming's coming up. If you guys are in town for homecoming and you're a young alum listening to this pod, check out the link in our Instagram bio, and we'll post about it this week. But there's the Young Alumni Virginia Tech Young Alum Happy Hour annually that happens at Hokie House on Friday. So guys, check that out. That will be in the link to our Instagram. If you guys are in town, always a great event. They do a great job and fun networking. I know they got the homecoming parades on Friday nights. Now I think they used to do it on Saturday morning. I think fireworks are happening after that, so it should be a ton of fun. We'll do the preview pod, Billy, I think Wednesday.
I think so. Yeah, I think on Wednesday. And also, if you've made it this far, last week I assigned you guys to put an emoji in there that didn't even exist. I got multiple texts like, dude, there is no golf ball emoji. So this time we're going to do the prayer hands. Give us the prayer hands. We have been praying for times like this, and they have arrived. So put the prayer hands emoji in the comments, and all of you guys have a fantastic week. We love you, and
go Hokies.
Be well. Go Hokies.
Happy homecoming.